Hello, so this is my third videos of my third random topic for my speaking exercise. And okay, the last video I talk about my currently reading book. What am I reading right now? So for this third video I want to talk about maybe fiction and non-fiction book. So my mom really likes books, so um, since I was in primary school, like maybe first grader, I think I already already read book since the time. And at that time there was a little option for book for children, like book for children, usually magazine like majalah Bobo and other, I think novel or like something that I think so childish, or like the fable, or like what's dongeng in Indonesia? What's dongeng in English? Yes, like folklore, I think something like that. And the story were either childish for me, or yeah, it had so much values that want children to get that, like there are story of maybe a rebel children, and in the end they got problem and they got sad and they got the consequences of their naughty things. And in the end, like the moral of the story, you can do that and you can do this. I don't at the time, yeah, I think, yeah, because I don't have any option, so yeah, I like reading that. But eventually I became bored, so at the time I read my mom's book. So the language was so high, already high for my age, but all of that book is fiction. So I read fiction until college. Until I graduated from college, I read fiction book. But after I graduated, I don't know, but I have kind of thinking that why am I reading fiction book? Fiction book is fiction. Like, why you read a fiction? There's nothing good from that. Like, you should be read a non-fiction, like self-motivation book, or like how to prepare your life in the future, or like Rich Dad Rich Son, I think, something like that, if you know. So I think after college I shifted from fiction to non-fiction, and I read some non-fiction, and my favorite was, and until now I think my favorite is the tidy things, the book about tidying things, from Marie Kondo, I think, you know, because at the time I really like to keep things that I think have memories on it, and yeah, that's why my stuff were so many. But because of that book, I kind of, yeah, you can't have so many things in life, so just be here, just be present, and love the things that matters to you. And so yeah, I think that's and I become more tidy. I think tidier, I don't know. Yeah, so that's book kind of changed my life. And yeah, I think non-fiction is good because you really can apply that. You really apply that. You can apply that immediately, because yeah, that's the book of reality. It's non-fiction. But non-fiction usually not fun, right? There is no imagination. There are no imagination. There are no like fairy or villains or something, that like there are no heroes. And because of that, I think I become bored, and I became less and less read a book. And yeah, that's why, like, this is maybe the graphic, and this is when I first read the fiction. Like I read so many books, and then when non-fiction is like, yeah, it's become more less and less, lesser and lesser. And there is handphone and laptop and Netflix and game and so many interesting game. So yeah, it become less and less and less. And in this point, I become like, my hobby is no longer reading a book. I always said my hobby is reading a book, one of them. But at this point, like when I am already a worker, I cannot say that my hobby is reading a book. So and from this lowest moment of my period of reading book, I got a sentence from from people, from a person, and from some people that I meet, but I can, but like I, what's the word, like I eventually, not immediately, no, like unplanned, I don't know, like unplanned, and I'm scrolling, and I found that, like something like that. But in conclusion, like, fiction is not unuseful. Fiction actually came from fiction itself, but the author made it with their imagination, with their what's in their head, so the reader not feel like you are being told to do this, and you are being told to do that. But the fiction is a option, one of option. Also, it's like a media to tell the reality, but in more fun way, and more subtle way. So the reader of the fiction will think, oh yeah, I like this and like that, and oh, so in real life, blah 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 blah. So the story, the process is longer in fiction book, because you must like translated it, and every person, I think, every person will translated it different, with what they believe and with what they what they meet in their reality. So I think, yeah, fiction is more flexible. Fiction is more, you can translate it as like you want, not like non-fiction. I think that's it. I don't know if you can understand what am I talking about. Like, am I ranting? I don't know, I'm not ranting. But okay, that's it. And I hope for the next video I can be more prepared, maybe like a script or maybe a pointer, and I don't forget a word that I want to say. We'll see if I'm not too tired. Bye.